Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So I just recorded a 25-minute video, and then I noticed my mic was muted. So this is our take number 2, and hopefully we get it right this time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my new Thorns Hota Barb build that I've been running. I'll start off with going over the gear that I'm using. Then I'll go over the skills and the Paragon board. Let's get started. Well, first we're starting with the helm. We got Iron Warrior with armor, max life, cooldown reduction, and max fury. Next we got the chest. Damage reduction from bleeding, damage reduction while fortified, armor, and damage reduction from close. Here we have might, which kind of no-brainer. Everybody's using that right now. Here we have exploiters with crit chance, lucky hit chance, hammer the ancients, and attack speed. Now, exploiters is not, it doesn't work that good in PvP. It doesn't proc that often. The only real reason you're using it is for the 20% increased crowd control, which, I don't know, exploiters might not be worth to use. This is verdict still up on this one. I might end up just taking it off completely. Here we have the pants with damage reduction, flat damage reduction, dodge chance against close, armor, and damage reduction while bleeding or from bleeding. Now, there's a lot going around that fortify is bad in PvP. Myself, I took off all fortify yesterday and did some PvP, and I hated it. I did not like it at all. I got one shot by Barb. I got one shot by Hotas, and rogues. And I just did not like it. I know mainly a big reason is because all my gear is fortified geared. I don't really have any good gear to switch. So I guess that's kind of that reason. These pants are definitely not that great. The aspect is terrible on them, but right now I'm trying to get as much dodge as I can, so they will. But I definitely right now going with the fortified build, I would definitely switch out the bleeding damage reduction for fortified damage reduction. And these are steadfast for more fortify armor. Here we have Ghost Walker with movement speed, fury cost reduction, berserk duration, and dodge chance. I definitely want to switch out the dodge chance for dodge chance to close because you get more that way. And I want to switch out berserk duration probably for some type of damage reduction, whatever we can get there. Here we have Edge Masters, cooldown reduction, counter offensive, all defense, and fury cost reduction. Can switch the counter offensive to something else. If I got probably like a no mercy, I'd probably switch a no mercy and defense. I'd probably switch it out there. Here we have Echoing Fury, crit chance, max life, crit damage, and resource generation. Now this is the big change. This is what some people are running this, not a lot, but I have loved this ring or this aspect. Excuse me. I pretty much switched. It took me a couple days to farm this ring. If you don't have it, the best way to get it would be farming obols and then gambling rings on a rogue if you have a rogue. If you don't have a rogue, you can still gamble on your barbarian. It just might take you a little bit longer to get because you can get this ring on any class. So yeah, it's just I heard that it was easier to get on a rogue. But it still took me probably 3 days of farming obols to actually get the ring from the gamble. But I love it. With all my dodge, when I use dodge potions, I can get to about like 40% dodge. So I'm pretty much max fury all the time. This ring is fantastic. And I'll kind of get in when I go over my skills about how you proc the damage over time effects and just how it all synergizes good together. Down here for weapons, here we have Limitless Rage with Strength, Core, Close, and all stats. I did just switch this out for this mace. It is 5 eye levels lower, but I get all stats instead of the vulnerable. I already have 200% vulnerable, I think close to that at least. And so vulnerable is not that really big of a deal in PvP. Over 200% vulnerable, it's not that great of a stat compared to going for other stuff. And for me, I went for all stats because it gives you dodge chance and critical strike chance. which you can see here. Where's my dodge? So more dexterity you get, the more dodge. Here I have about 13% flat and 12% from close. Plus you get your 8% there. Plus you get 10% from the potion. Plus you get 5% from the incense. So yeah, you have a lot of dodge. And any all stats you get is going to increase that dodge and your crit. I think if I get more all stats, I can probably get up to like 45 crit, which would be nice. Here we have Ancestral, but I wouldn't get too excited about this because I have a feeling in 3 days it's going to get nerfed and people aren't either not going to be using it or you're going to use it, but it's just not going to be like, oh, put it on your two-hander and let's abuse it, you know. Here we have Close, Vulnerable, Core, and All Stats. Here I have Vulnerable, Core, All Stats, and Strength, Expectant. I might switch this out for the aspect that you stand still. Verdict's still out on that. Don't really have a good one, so haven't switched it yet. And we have Accelerate with Crits, Strength, Core, and All Stats. You definitely want all three axes to get the damage to healthy. And yeah, those are the weapons. I think that's all the gear. I'm running Sword Expertise mainly because it fits in with damage over time, fits in with getting that on the targets and getting extra dodge and getting my resource gen going. You can also switch to Axe Expertise if you just don't really like the bleed, because we do have other forms of bleed, but I'm just kind of trying to stack bleed myself, so when I Hota, you know, you definitely have a good size bleed on you. We'll go over the skill tree here. Okay, lunging strike, combat lunging strike. These are pretty much the same that everybody's doing here. Furious Hammer of the Ancients. And here's where kind of things are different. We have 3 out of 3 Imposing Presence, 2 out of 3 Martial Vigor. And I took out, before I had Challenging Shout maxed, I took that out. I took that down to 1. I have 1 in all my shouts, plus the 3 from the amulet. Iron Skin, Tactical Iron Skin. And here is the new thing. We're running Outburst with Tough as Nails. Outburst and Tough as Nails. So this automatically puts a bleed on the target when somebody hits me. Somebody hits you, you activate your Thorns. You hit them with your Thorns, and you hit a bleed damage on them. So that kind of activates your ring in itself. Plus we have Strategic Challenging Shot, which gives you 30% of your max life as Thorns. That's why it's good to stack. So these all stack life. These all synergize really well together, and they synergize with your ring, Assimilation Ring, even better. It's just very good together. Over here we have Booming Voice. Also, I took out Raid Leader and put 3 here instead, mainly because Raid Leader just it's only really, I mean, you can use it in groups, but I don't even think you can. This heal is superb. It's better, superior. You got 9% max life. So I'm healing for almost 2,000 every 100 fury I spend, and I'm dodging so much that I'm like max fury all the time. So my heals are just insane. And we also get damage reduction here instead. I took out these just because with the ring, I don't really need the fury generation while berserking. I already have enough. It works out. I went with No Mercy instead. And Hamstring. Since I always have a bleed on the target, there's always a bleed, no matter what, pretty much. And we took No Mercy also because this gets us up to almost 50% crit, which is just huge. So I'm like critting almost all the time. I'm loving it. If I end up getting a No Mercy amulet, I would probably, I would either stack 6 points here, or I'd probably stack 6 points here, because then you'd be at like almost 60% crit. Oh, which is just that's a lot of crit. Here I'm going Thick Skin. I have 6 points in counter offensive. Since I'm always fortified and I have like a 25,000 fortify, this is just no brainer. 24% extra damage. Huge. And then here we got 1 in wallop, 3 in concussion for the stun. Here we have tempered fury, 1, and 3 out of 3 invigorating fury for a huge heal. And unbridled rage. It's pretty much the skill tree. Paragon board. Here we are. We're running like every max life node you can think. We have them all. We got max life, armor, physical damage, max life, armor, physical damage. That's starter board. Come up to decimator. Oh, I'll go over the glyphs too. Here we have territorial, demolish. These are all your vulnerable nodes. Arrogance, pillage, and here we have might. This way. I tested playing without fortify. There's a lot going around community PvP right now that running just straight dodge chance is better than fortified. Me, I hated it. When I ran, I did it yesterday with no fortify. Mind you, I don't have the best gear to run the no fortify stuff, but man, I just got one shot by like so many people, rogues and Hotas, because I didn't have the fortify, and I ended up going back to it right away. Or once I get a little more gear, I might switch out of the fortify like a lot of people are doing. But till then, I like having 50,000 life with my fortify, and like I hardly ever get one shot, and it feels good. Came down here, more damage while fortified, fortified generation, just so we'll always have fortify up. Max fury, max life. Here we took these nodes down here just for the max life. You get 8% max life from these 4 nodes. It's huge. Hungry fury. Raw power. Now that is another thing. There's a thing going around that physical damage is not that great in PvP. I'm going to do some testing into that, because if that is the case, we can get rid of quite a lot of nodes, probably like 5 or 6 nodes that have physical damage on them. But that's still, we need to test that. Come up here. Flawless technique. We have Havoc. Right now, the crit damage cap for PvP is 200 to 250. So whenever you're calculating that and you're going through your gear, make sure if you're running Havoc, to take that into account, because that's 45% extra crit damage, which means right now I'm at 191. You get 72 from all your gems. You get 45 from Havoc. So actually, I could take off this crit damage here, and I would still be completely in range at the 250 mark for crit damage. So here I could go with close instead of crit damage, still be at 250% crit damage, and that would be ideal. Be hitting a lot harder. Come back over here. Technique, brash, up here damage reduction close, and Havoc. Did I go over that glyph? Oh, up here we are running Undaunted and Exploit. Here we have Weapons Master. So here's more of these nodes for physical damage, which, you know, I'd have to redo my whole Paragon to get rid of these, but that's just, you know, that's another 1, 2, 3 node. That's 3 skill points plus the other one that's 4. I think there's another one that's 5, so that's like an extra 5 or 6 skill points you could probably switch out for other stuff. Here we're running Marshal, and more armor and strength. Here we have Bone Breaker. You were getting so much extra max life up here. You're getting what, 10, 11, 12. You're getting 14% max life from these nodes. Huge life, huge life. Here we're running Vigor for the damage reduction while healthy, and I took out points from other places to come down to here. Just since we are running so much Fortify, we always have Fortify. Extra 30% damage while fortified is just big. Actually, what, 35. And for the glyph here, we are running Wrath. Now Wrath, oh, I didn't even put that into account. Actually, there's another 40% critical strike damage with core skills. So I could get rid of even more critical strike damage since we're using Wrath. Since we're already at that damage cap. Just lots of things to still be optimized, but so far this is an amazing build. I'm loving it. It is fantastic. I'm doing 1v5s, 1v10s. It's nuts. It is just nuts. And I think that is everything. We got expertise, sword skill. Like I said, I think I already talked about that. You can run axe if you want. I swap sometimes. I just enjoy having the bleed to always proc my assimilation. And I believe that is it. Yeah. I appreciate it. I'm going to put out another video probably either later tonight or tomorrow about stats and what things are broken and not broken and what certain caps you want to go for on things in PvP. So be looking for that. And y'all have a good one. Thank you.